right, so you guys know who I'm about to interview. You know who I'm about to talk to. The one and only Chris Jericho. Chris, how are you, sir?
I'm amazing, man. How you doing?
Hey, there you go. With the best hair in the business, Chris Jericho. It's very weird because by the way, people don't know this. You're listening on the radio. You have no clue. We're on a Zoom call to do this. Chris has got a beautiful house and beautiful hair. Like, I mean, I'm in here in the studio. He's looking like a 10. I'm looking like a -4. So I got to talk to you about everything going on in your career. But first, we're going to talk about Terrifier because I literally rewatched again because these guys are from the original concept and everything else. Staten Island. I'm from Staten Island. I know the producer of the original movie, and it's just crazy how this has grown. I was just telling one of my guys here in the studio how big Terrifier is. Like, Art the Clown is literally everywhere now. You go to every Halloween store, T-shirts, animatronics, everything. And now you're part of that world because you were in Terrifier 2, and now you're in Terrifier 3. How did that happen? How did Chris Jericho, tremendous actor, I've seen you in a ton of things, but how did you get into the Terrifier world?
We discovered Terrifier 1 on the Fozzy tour bus, and I just started telling everybody, you got to see this movie. On my podcast, Talk is Jericho, I've got a lot of fans of horror. We talk about horror quite a bit. So I just started saying, like, you guys want to see something that's going to blow your mind, you got to check out Terrifier. What's Terrifier? You'll see. And that kind of started it. Really kind of standing on the mountaintop with the Terrifier flag, waving it. So when the time came for 2, Damien contacted me and asked me if I wanted to be in it. And I was like, absolutely, because I just thought it'd be such a cool experience. And of course, your agents and managers are like, there's no money in this thing. It's like, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
The big picture, this is going to be huge. It's going to be something very special. And so that kind of, I was right about that. To be involved in 2 was a huge deal. It became such a big hit, because suddenly people were passing out in the theater and people were vomiting, et cetera, et cetera. And now we've got, Jerry O'Connell discussing Art the Clown on The View. You can't buy that type of publicity. So it really became the in thing. It was to be watching Terrifier, and to be in it was next level. Now, the original ending for Terrifier 2 was a lot different from what you saw because we had to do a lot of research to change the ending of the movie for different reasons. So that kind of led me to be involved in 3. So I'm one of the few rare characters that is in 2 Terrifier films. Most people don't last too long in these movies.
Now, are you going to make it into? It's already been announced. I'm not speaking out of school here. It's already been announced. There is going to be a Terrifier 4. Does Chris Jericho make it to 3 Terrifier movies? I don't want you to tell me if you die or not, because that's, I don't want you to, go behind the curtain and everything. I get it. It opens October 11th, by the way. Everyone go to the theater. Go see Terrifier 3. Go see Chris. Go see everybody. Art the Clown is amazing. I don't want to ruin it for everybody. But is there a chance that Chris Jericho goes on to the next one?
Well, I mean, of course, there's always a chance. They could have a resurrection. There could be a clone.
Mm-hmm, it's possible.
Could be a twin brother, perchance.
Chad Jericho.
You never know.
Yeah, anything's possible. And that's the thing, by the way, and for people that have no clue what the hell we're talking about, you've been living under a rock. The Terrifier movies were so extreme and so awesome that people were puking. They were giving out vomit bags that you could get that had Art the Clown on them, just so you wouldn't dirty up the theater. You had the ability to be, and also became great collector's items. But the movie is without, I'm not gonna sugarcoat it. It's intense. It's great, and it was something, by the way, that horror fans, and I think Chris included, because you're a horror fan, have been clamoring for a long time. We have been waiting for a new horror icon to come around. I mean, you have your Jasons, you have your Freddys, you have your Michaels, all the Pinhead. You can go through the whole gambit of horror movies. Art the Clown now up there. Art the Clown is now up there. Like I was just saying, you go to any Halloween store, You could have Art the Clown on your lawn, Chris, if you wanted to. You mean like an animatronic Art the Clown? This movie started out with no budget, and now there in Terrifier 2 there was Oscar talk. For Christ's sake, I mean it's huge. It's become a phenomenon, and now you're in that world. Are you maybe going to branch out and do? Is there any talk of maybe doing your own horror movies? Because you obviously are a fan. You obviously have ideas. And now, I mean, it's not like you don't know people in the business. So, I mean, could there be a Chris Jericho-led horror movie? Or even, and Fozzy could do the soundtrack. It could be a whole thing.
Well, once again, to be a part of any movie is an honor, and it's very cool. But I think Terrifier is a completely different world because, like you mentioned, we've never seen a killer like Art in many, many years, if ever.
Yeah.
So that's what makes it so special is the way that David Howard Thornton plays Art, the fact that there's no rules with the kills that he commits. I mean, in this movie, it's a Christmas themed film. So children usually escape in these types of movies, but not in this one.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of things that they kind of go the extra mile in the Terrifier movies, and people know that. And if you don't know that, you'll find out very quickly. So there's a certain vibe that Terrifier movies have, and you have to know what you're getting into because it's batshit crazy and it's
Very
depraved
true.
and it's messed up in a lot of different ways. So, but I think that's what fans have come to expect. So to be in a movie that's opening in 2,000 screens on Friday, that's already banned in France. That's quite an honor. So I'm excited about that, and I'm excited to see what's going to come next because of it.
Yeah. Now, all right. So you said you were a horror fan. Give me your Mount Rushmore. Who is your Mount Rushmore of horror? Like, do you like the slashers? Are you more supernatural? What do you like? What is Chris Jericho like?
It depends on the movie. There's not just any certain genre. Mm-hmm. I think John Carpenter's Thing is still
nice.
My favorite horror movie of all time.
Classic.
I love a lot of 80s movies. I love like the Sleepaway Camp 2 is a favorite of mine. I think Eli Roth is a genius with Cabin Fever and Hostel. I think Thanksgiving was really well done.
I agree.
Obviously, I love the Terrifier franchise. I still haven't decided what I think about In a Violent Nature, which just came out this year. Mm-hmm. But that also tells me that I'm intrigued by it because I can't stop thinking about it. So, I mean, it all depends on the story and the movie itself. I thought, for example, everyone was critically acclaiming Longlegs. I thought Longlegs was good. I didn't think it was the best horror movie of the year.
No.
So it all depends on kind of what I'm feeling. I'm watching the Salem's Lot remake right now. I'm really enjoying that, but I'm also a big Stephen King fan. So it all depends on the different scenarios and the different stories of the movies.
What was your first horror movie, Chris? What was the one that made you a horror fan? Was it Stephen King? Was it the Thing or John Carpenter? I mean,
I think the first horror movie that I can really remember getting into was Damien Omen 2, because they showed it on TV quite a bit, probably right after it came out in 1979, 1980. Mm-hmm. And that always freaked me out because Damien as the Antichrist, and he was like 13 in that movie. I was 10. So I really remember thinking like, oh my gosh, like this kid is my age, Am I the Antichrist? Like, is he the Antichrist?
I'm only 3 years away from it. I could be the Antichrist.
Yeah, I still watch that movie probably annually, and it still freaks me out. There's one kill where a guy gets trapped under ice. Mm-hmm. It still freaks me out to see that because I played hockey on ponds like they're playing hockey, and combine that with the Metallica song. It just freaks me out. So, yeah, I think Omen 2, any movie that you see when you're younger, Halloween was like that, the original Halloween. Mm-hmm. See when you're younger that impacted you when you were a kid, that never goes away. It's not like you grow up and you're like, oh, that's not creepy anymore. It's still pretty creepy. The ones that really get you still resonate.
I know we got to be finishing this up soon. And by the way, we're talking to Chris Jericho. He's in Terrifier 3. October 11th, it opens, like he just said, on 2,000 screens. It's going to be out there. You got to see it. I'm definitely going to be in line, being that I know the whole genre. I'm sucked into that world. Plus, I know the guys behind the lens. I know all that, so I can't wait to see Art the Clown. What's next for Chris Jericho? What's the next thing? Let's let you have some plugs, man. What's the next thing for Jericho?
I mean, there's always stuff going on.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like that's one cool thing about having a lot of versatility in my career. So yeah, I mean, we're on tour with Fozzy right now, and I got a pay-per-view with AEW this weekend on Saturday, and of course we've got Terrifier 3, and I've got Talk is Jericho. We've got a Bay Street at the Veterans Hall next Sunday. I mean, you name it, I'm doing it.
Yes, he's been an author. He's been a hockey player. He has been in horror movies. He has been in pro wrestling. He has been in a rock star, for Christ's sake. He's done it all. Chris Jericho is in Terrifier 3, maybe in Terrifier 4. If we have a clone, we don't know yet. But you got to see it to find out if he makes it through the movie. But I don't think it looks good for Chris just due to the fact that I saw Art the Clown doing literal snow angels in puddles of blood while wearing his Santa outfit, and damn it, I am now intrigued. It is one hell of a movie. It's going to be one hell of a ride. I can't wait. October 11th, it is going to be a bloody, bloody Friday. Chris Jericho, Terrifier 3. Chris, where can people reach you? You want to give out a plug like ChrisJericho.com, AEW.com? What do you want to do? Anything?
Just Google me, man.
Just Google him, for Christ's sake. Google the man with the best hair in the business, the one and only Chris Jericho. Thank you, Chris. Thank you, everybody.
Thanks,
man, have a good night. Chris Jericho, outstanding. Thanks, Chris.
Appreciate it, man. Thank you.